Once again, warm greetings to all of you. The topic of my presentation today is challenges and opportunities in English language teaching and learning. So I was supposed to add literature also, but I deliberately avoided that because, I want to be more focused on language teaching and learning rather than learning literature. That's why I just narrowed it down to this topic. I want you to respond to me and let us have an interactive session. Father, how much time do I? Can you connect that with learning? Self-assessment is different from learning. Yeah, knowing one's own strengths and weaknesses. Okay, focusing on learning. Hi, Dr. Shagla. Right. So all the interpretations you gave are correct, and I'm trying to extend it to one more idea, that is self-directed learning. So today focus is, it's not, education is not that someone is going to give you, it's rather you direct yourself to learn. So that's the kind of idea. I'll talk about it later in the middle of my presentation. My focus is when I talk about challenges of teaching and learning English language, I'm going to focus mainly on issues that are related to classroom. What I mean by classroom is actual teaching and learning. Now let us have a look at this. These are general graduate attributes that are expected from a graduate. Once you complete BA or BSc, BTech, MBBS or whatever, you are supposed to have these graduate attributes. There is a definition which I heard many years back. A graduate is someone who knows something of everything and everything of something. So you must have a focused knowledge on whatever subject you have selected to graduate on, plus little bit of everything from different parts of the world or whatever experiences we have in life. So these are some of the ideas. I'm not going to read out all the slides. It's your job, okay? So that's why language learning is not one-way track. So all the time me talking and you listening. Just read whatever is on the screen. So qualities of graduates today. I'm not talking about St. Thomas students in particular. It's a general observation. Okay, so don't feel bad. Sir has come from another part of the world and he's trying to point fingers at us. Okay, so here I would like to elaborate these things. There are many reasons for these. Some of our students are good at knowledge, but weak in communication. I'm not talking about you interacting in English language, particularly speaking in English, that most of you can manage very well. Weak in communication in a sense that, for a focused communication which has an integration of all the skills, listening, speaking, reading and writing. So some are good at speaking, some are good at writing. But seldom you find people who are good at all these skills. That's why. Poor in interpersonal skills. Part of the reason is technology also. We are more interactive with technology today, with our mobiles and things like that. By the way, in St. Thomas, are you allowed to bring your mobiles to your classrooms? Thank God. Last week I went to a college, yeah, so do you wear a uniform? No, okay. So, you have come out of the Stone Age. I'm happy. Yeah, so last last week I went to one college in my town, and all the students were seated, including the research scholars uniform. It's a girls' college, of course, and they weren't allowed to bring the mobile phone to the classroom. They can keep it inside their bag. So one reason, poor interpersonal skills, because you don't get a chance to talk to people, or you don't want to talk to people. Socio-cultural pragmatics, we call it. How to interact in the society, how to, interact with politeness, how to exchange ideas, respond. So that's why interpersonal skills. Very poor in social skills. I'm not sure, but I cannot claim that Keralites are poor in social skills. They are better at it. That's what I have found personally. So generally speaking, some of our graduates from our country. Employability is very poor. So on the one hand, you don't have many jobs, but even if you have jobs, you are not employable for various reasons. Poor performance in workplace, and that's one nature we have to improve on. We are not having the ability to do hard work and perform better. Few things about these skills, particularly social skills you must have, and media literacy, flexibility, and one thing we lack today. We used to be flexible, but nowadays we are becoming very rigid due to political reasons. I mean, for political reasons and social reasons and religious reasons, we are becoming more rigid, and that's also a problem. You cannot be very successful at your workplace where you have to work with people from different walks of the society. Now again, I asked ChatGPT about the problems. Players who are involved in planning curriculum for the education in India, yet a lot needs to be done. Insufficient teacher training. This is one area we are lacking a lot. Particularly, if you want to become a school teacher, you must have a training. But if you want to have a college job, you don't need to get any training at all. MA, JRF, SLET, NET, you are a teacher. You can next day, today, this summer, if you finish your course in MA, July you can become a teacher. You can teach up to postgraduate level. That's something not very good. Meant several methods of teaching. So therefore, this is one area which tried in Kerala. In Kerala. You have? Not much, I think. You are crushed between, mountain and the sea, and everything is happening. So, one sociological thing I noticed, and the difference between Tamil Nadu and Kerala I have noticed. Any graduate or anyone who gets employment outside Kerala, outside India, they come back and they settle down in their villages. They build their houses and things like that. That problems, particularly student motivation. So who is supposed to, that's the picture I showed you first. Who is responsible for educating yourself or motivating you? The picture I showed you first. Who is responsible for educating yourself or motivating you to get educated? Your parents, your teachers, yourselves. So you have to direct yourself to learn if you want to learn. Now, I was motivated. There is a contradiction, isn't it? Yeah, in the inauguration, I said I was motivated by my teacher. Now he is asking to be self-directed. There was a difference. I mean, there is a clear-cut difference. Those days we were ignorant because we never had any information. Today you are not ignorant. What I learned are, many things I have come to know after my wedding, now itself, isn't it? Thanks to Ouseph and other nets. Don't laugh. So, life has changed a lot. So you are not ignorant anymore. So it's your duty to develop your education and motivate yourself. We will also do our bit. So it is not that we will ignore you. Now the mainstay of my presentation is this, particularly analyzing what are the challenges students face or teachers experience when teaching the language. Maybe teaching any subject. So I am going by skill wise. Challenges in listening to English. Malayalam, right from the day you were born. You are all speaking Malayalam right from the day you were born. See, you listen to me carefully and answer me. I know what language you were speaking at that time. Let me close my ears. No one. It takes 3 years. In the case of boys, 4 years. Yeah. To speak the language. Are there anyone particularly providing Malayalam education to you? No. How do you learn? By today, your vocabulary is a problem, grammar is a problem, nervousness is a problem, fear of making mistakes. Here is something I would like to tell you. Even today, I'm afraid of speaking to Indian audience because if I make a mistake, it's not accepted. I'm happy to speak before international audience. I have worked with people from different parts of the world. Even today, I'm working with people from different parts of the world. That includes Americans and British. When I speak, they have no problem. But in India, speaking is a problem. People always are judgmental. They want to judge your, if you make a mistake, they'll immediately, underscore your personality or your knowledge of the language or whatever it is. So this is one area where teachers need to do a lot of work encouraging the students to make mistakes if you don't make much mistakes. Another thing is, I'm not sure how noisy is your classroom. Like this hall? Do your teachers allow you look on the other side? Do your teachers allow you to make noise in the class? No? Noise means not howling. I'm talking about allowing you to speak. Okay, most of the classrooms, they don't. If you are not given a chance to use the language in the classroom, you can't later use it in the society. So making classes interactive is also one of the ways to reduce anxiety of students and, encouraging them. So a lot of exposure needs to be given. Okay, what problems do you face while teaching speaking? Do we really teach speaking in the classroom? What problems do students struggle with while speaking in English? Have you ever analyzed this? These are some of the questions, particularly teachers should analyze and train themselves to teach speaking. Challenges in reading English. So, are you all good at reading English? Yeah, you just literally read, right? So, do you have difficulties in pronouncing words? The third point, do you know the reading strategies? That's why I asked. There are many reading strategies. Reading for particular information, reading to understand the general idea given there. So if you understand these strategies, then it is easy for you to read and comprehend things from the matters you read. Do not understand words. So is it important? Sometimes people feel that when you read, every third word will be a difficult or a new word. You keep on running to the dictionary, you will never end reading. You'll continue. It's a wrong way of reading actually, trying to, figure out meaning of every third word, which is a strange word to you. So you have to stop that. You just continue to read, try to comprehend things. Later maybe you can take note of that and find the meaning. Lack of topical knowledge. Now I think, this is not a very big issue because, Instagram reels. You all watch Instagram reels? How many hours do you sleep? No motivation to read. So this is again, like you have to motivate one's own self. Attitude towards reading is also another problem. How many hours we are supposed to read as a graduate student? Very quickly tell me answer. 3 to 4 hours? Okay. That is fairly good amount of reading. You mean outside the classroom? Okay. So, anyone else? Could you give me a kind of accurate time? You must read all the time. You must read all the time, like you are reading now. Challenges in writing in English: do not know the basic structure, making a sentence. Sometimes we are lost in translation. We think in Malayalam and write in English. And you can get very good examples from WhatsApp and Instagram, isn't it? How you translate and think. So no idea about the writing infrastructures of different essays. I'm not sure whether different kinds of essays are taught in your curriculum. Do you teach different kinds of essays? Yeah, so in some curriculum they don't have that particularly teaching. I have a list of essays, later I'll show you. Do not have content to write. So, if you want to speak, you should have something to communicate. Similarly, if you want to write, you need to have something to talk. Not having enough vocabulary. Again, this is something you have to gain over time by reading and listening. No systematic training in writing, particularly attitude. Writing is difficult. One thing I have found is that, we find it very difficult to write. The basic reason? Writing is not a natural human activity, number one. Number two, the physical act of writing is a painful task. And in our schools, they start doing this right from LKG, UKG. And I was principal of a school for 5 years in Andhra Pradesh. I was running a CBSE school. Virtually, parents have come and fought with me for not giving writing homework for LKG and UKG students. It's a very painful thing for children to write. That's why they cry, they resist. And what's the result, end result? We cry even now to write. So, honest, physically it is difficult. Now you can use the keyboard. But secondly, that we develop a kind of aversion for writing. So, you are not supposed to be blamed, you have to come out of it. Okay, if you are physically finding it difficult, use computer or a tab, right? Attitude also that needs to be changed. Then, do everyone need to write? No, writing part, leave it to people like Dr. Viju. He is good at it. Okay. Now let us take a break, and I want you to look at this picture. I'll tell you how to read and understand. I'm not using a paragraph here, rather I am using a picture here. I will tell you how you can train your mind to read and analyze and understand things. Okay? Look at this picture. Anyone of you have a head like this now? No? My head is bigger than this now. Do you like this picture? Do you get any idea looking at the picture? Are there anyone who don't like this picture? Overthinking, yes. You don't like this picture. Why? Looks ugly. Right. Now let us quickly read these questions. How gradually each question is progressing towards more understanding of the picture. Good? Finished reading? Okay, let me go to the next one. Don't read my face and my thoughts. So let me move on to the next slide. So I can handle a 2-hour classroom with this picture alone. I can generate a lot of communication with the students. Now, the purpose in which I am showing this is different, for which I am showing this is different. Now, whenever you come across a paragraph, a video, or whatever it is, reading, listening, you should be able to, your mind should be trained to ask these questions, not exactly these questions, questions that are relevant and related to this, so that you are able to analyze and understand whatever you are reading or listening. Get it? So this is one way of enhancing your reading. Pedagogy, andragogy, like andragogy, they say it is adult education. Those days are gone. Now there are, these are 3 effective ways of learning. One is heutagogy, that is self-directed learning. Okay? That's why I used this picture, self-directed learning. Second one, peer learning, learning from your friends. Why particularly it is very important? Over a few years we will be gone. You will be living with your classmates and people who are studying with you, who are growing with you in the society. So it is important to learn from them or help them to learn. So sharing information and having a kind of network for learning. This is one way of learning. Learning from the cyberspace. So you can use a lot of resources that are available freely on internet to learn. I'll show you some of the resources. So these 3 things are important. Number 1, self-directed learning, directing yourself to learn what you are supposed to learn or what you want to learn according to your personal and professional needs. Second, learn from your friends or help your friends to learn, both ways. It is not one-way traffic. Then learn from the internet, cyberspace, whatever cyberspace, or from whatever resources that are freely available. Again, I asked ChatGPT, what are the opportunities we have in learning? Then again, I have taken 4 slides from ChatGPT. And the first slide says professional development for teachers. So this is very, very important. So what we are doing today is very much relevant. And higher education institutions are very much hesitant in doing this, because it involves money. So most of the institutions in India, they have only one-way traffic. Money only goes in, it never comes out. When it comes, many people say you pray, right? So prayer is not a good substitute for money. It may do a lot of good thing for your spiritual life, but it will not do much for your social and educational life. So money need to be spent conducting workshops, inviting resource persons, paying for our flight, hotel, and cafe latte, whatever it is. Okay. Also, encouraging teachers to do programs like CELTA and Thrissur. CELTA is the course, 1-month course. The cost of that course is around 200,000 rupees, 2 lakhs Indian rupees. You can do it in India, or you can go to Phuket, Thailand and do it. I would say these courses should be sponsored by the institutions. They should select a couple of teachers, pay for their course and stay. Then only they can develop very good professional teachers.
International Journal of Educational
Collaboration with international universities for exchange programs.
Journal of Educational Development.
It's coming from mine or from you, Dr. Saila? It's okay. So, collaboration. Like I ask you to collaborate with your fellow learners, friends, institutions should collaborate, countries should collaborate, teachers should collaborate. Like I am collaborating with Dr. Viju is collaborating with me, and because of two of us now, our departments are connected, and ELT International Chapter is also connected with us. And peer tutoring and mentorship programs. So, two of my Omani junior colleagues will be presenting in this conference, Ms. Maria and Mr. Ali. Both of them, I am mentoring them. They are guest lecturers in our department. I am mentoring them. I am guiding them to prepare a presentation. They are presenting here. So it is important for every teacher in the department to mentor some juniors or whoever is willing. But the scenario in India is a little bit difficult because once you become a permanent member of the staff, you don't need to even smile at your colleagues. So that's a tragedy in education, in higher education in our country. And I have come across people join the department and retire after 30, 35 years of teaching, being colleagues, never look at each other. So it is a humanly impossible thing, but they make it possible. So, we are good at doing these kind of impossible things. Use of ICT, information communication technology, and also AI in language learning. There are many AI integrated apps that can interact with you. I'm not going to give you a list. You just find out from the internet. And research, encouraging research and innovation, collaborative research, and also, funding the English language teaching projects. And publication opportunities. This is one area which is very challenging for teachers because of university rankings and quality audit. People are forced to publish, but the quality of publication that comes are not good for various reasons. I don't have much time to elaborate on this. Tomorrow workshop I'll be discussing this with research scholars and teachers, research guides. Now quickly I would like to give you some of the resources, you can read this slide, right? One resource that is freely available for us is the British Council podcasts. You can type on the browser and find out. There are hundreds of thousands of materials that are freely available. You can just, while you are traveling by bus, or while you are doing some work in the kitchen, you can have your mobile and a headset, or even Bluetooth. Today it is very cheap. You can listen to these things, and that would definitely improve your language, because if you want to speak better, you have to listen a lot. Voice of America Special English podcast and broadcast. When we were students, they had radio programs. And Voice of English Special English is specially dedicated for third world country learners. So these programs are also very good. Why I particularly recommend these things, because English is not our native language, right? It's better always to use materials that are prepared by native speakers. Though there is a kind of an argument between Indian scholars and native speakers that Indian variety of language is one of the unique varieties of English, but our graduates are not going to work in Kerala, isn't it? The moment they finish graduation, they want to fly. Then come back for a week, get married, then fly again, isn't it? So that is a practice in this part of the world. So therefore it is important to have a kind of standard English or mutually intelligible language where you can understand the accent of people or the way people speak from different parts of the world in call centers and wherever you work. And particularly in Gulf, people from different parts of the world work, so you have to interact with them. And there is a particular page, words and their stories. And they have intermediate level, beginner level English. So this particular page is very good for understanding words, origin of words. You get a lot of stories related to words. And phrases are any quotations, fresh as a daisy, how this particular phrase or, saying came into existence. All these things you can learn. How to improve your speaking skills. Now, while speaking, 3 focus areas are there. One, speaking about one's own self, introducing one's own self. Second, speaking about your surrounding. Third, speaking about the world. So when you meet a person or when you are in an interview situation, you need to speak about yourself. So you have to get trained for that. One best way of doing that is going to websites that give or provide training for IELTS exam. I use a lot of this, speak about your home. When somebody is asking you, where are you coming from? Instead of just saying, I'm from Thrissur. Instead, if you say that I'm from Thrissur, it is the cultural capital of Kerala, and give more information, 5-6 sentences, if you can elaborate, that would be a better way of speaking. So that is also needed. Then LIS IELTS. The videos of this particular person are very good. They train you how to improve your speaking. The next one is also just a type IELTS speaking, or LIS, LI is Elizabeth, short name for that. You will get a lot of resources there. How to improve reading skills. This particularly, people sometimes do not know how to read. Reading habits. I want to just you to read the difference between digital immigrants, people like me, our reading habits, and the reading habits of people like you who are born with internet technology. Yeah. So that's why I asked Dr. Viju to write shorter books, like 30-40 pages. It's easy to read. Those days I did a research on a book which is the largest novel written in English, A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth, 1,439 pages. So my PhD is on applied linguistics, and I used this particular book. You know the difficulty I had, isn't it? So there are a lot of differences there, and particularly, shall I change? Just to give you some ideas. All of you are good at multitasking, isn't it? This is one picture I took some 10 years before, one of my students there, and he was, messaging or reading something, and multitasking. Teachers are worried when I have checked this many a time. They will be checking their mobile WhatsApp message or whatever it is. I ask them a question on my discussion, they immediately answer. But we weren't capable of doing that because we weren't trained with that kind of, we were not born with such a technology. Today I find many of them while driving, even some of my colleagues, they drive on highway 120 kilometer speed and watch a video, their cars. So these are some of the benefits you have. Youngsters have this benefit of multitasking. You can do many things simultaneously or at the same time. These are two differences I have come across. When you read books, what are the benefits? When you read from social media, what are the benefits? And when it comes to reading, how these things help you to understand the content. So both are needed. So you must read from social media as well as you must read from good books also. And don't ask me, give us a list of 10 books we'll read, and no. It's your choice. And sometimes people tell that you read any trash in English, so every day, 1 hour, 2 hours, you will become knowledgeable. That's a wrong approach actually. So you have to decide what interests you, and maybe teachers can guide you, your friends can guide you. I developed an interest in technology because of one or two technicians from India who worked in my college. So they were my friends, and they helped me to, learn how to use technology. So like that you can develop interest. Then have a look at this particular paragraph. When you are, this is a paragraph from the book we teach there, how one can analyze. Like the picture I showed here, I am showing a paragraph, analyzing. When you read a paragraph, you must identify the topic sentence. You must identify whether the arguments presented in the paragraph are supporting the topic sentence or contrasting. Here it is a contrasting argument. And what are the supporting arguments to the contrasting claim or supporting claim? And examples given. You have to follow this particular method of reading, and in your writing also you should have a clear topic sentence. If you are writing a paragraph, if you are writing an essay, you have to have a thesis statement. Then you have to explain, analyze, add evidences, support. Then finally you should have a kind of summing up and a concluding sentence. So if you read any paragraph, whenever you read something focused like this, trying to identify various parts of that paragraph, it will also help you to understand the things you read better. Look at this particular paragraph. I have taken this paragraph from one of the PhD thesis I evaluated from. Okay. So for the past 5 years I am carrying this paragraph with me, trying to understand. If any one of you can enlighten me and tell me the meaning of this paragraph, please. I'll buy you biryani after the presentation is over. Take up the challenge, please. Very quickly. Okay, thank you. Right. So you can understand the kind of burden I carry, isn't it? Why is this happening? Because there is a tendency among Indian students to use words that are strange. Why? How do they get this idea? From teachers. Teachers want to, they want to show off in the class. So they use very difficult words and, okay, my teacher has excellent English. Okay, what did you understand from the class? Then it's difficult. Admiring your teacher, are teachers trying to get the admiration of students by using strange words or, words that are difficult for students to understand, is a great thing. Yeah, you get a great name as you know so much of English, but it is not going to be useful. So use layman language, ordinary vocabulary, train them to write ordinary language. That will help them later to write things that will have good communication. Yeah, that will, though I claim that I didn't understand, I could make little bit sense out of it, but I resent the thesis for correction. The candidate had to resubmit it. It's a kind of embarrassment for us. So it's important to learn to write in a proper way. This is one learning method. Whenever you come across something, you have to engage with the material, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate. Now, I use the same method in the picture I showed you. All the questions which I attached to that picture were based on this as well. This is called the 5 E's, can be achieved in reading. Please read this. Happiness is not the mere possession of money. It lies in the joy of achievement. So this is a quote from Franklin Roosevelt. Now, how you can engage with this particular sentence, particular idea? What is Roosevelt saying in this quote? You get a meaning. You read something, you get some idea. Second, a kind of exploration. Do you agree with him? Why or why not? And many people disagree because we today feel that a lot of money helps us to be happy. It is a reality as well. Okay, I'm not negating that it is a reality as well. Do you agree with him or why not? Explain, what are your thoughts about money and happiness? You are asking yourself, do you think money is necessary for happiness? It's a kind of analytical. And again, expand that idea, question more. What if a large group of people in one place or a country lack the money they need to survive? How does this affect their happiness? Then evaluate your thoughts. What do you think a government should do if the people in their country do not have the money they need for survival? It's a kind of practical application of what you have read, isn't it? So these kind of analysis would definitely help you to have a very good language. You will become a competent communicator of English language. These are very important for undergraduate students. By the time they complete the first year of BA, they should know all this infrastructure, write all these essays. Who will teach you? You should teach yourself. So take a screenshot of this and this. Take some time and effort. A lot of resources are there, videos are there, lectures are there, and your teachers are already burdened with NAC work, getting 5-star for the college. So they are busy, isn't it, Father? Yeah, so they don't have much time to do these things. They are also helpless at times. And some of the colleges, some of my friends, they come to college at 7 or 8, they leave at 9, 10 p.m. in our country. So this is something very important. It is not their burden, it is your burden to learn. So there are some ways. I'm coming towards the final part of my presentation. Ways to improve, general proficiency of the language. Like you have a lot of teleserials. Netflix is one particular resource you can use, that will help you to learn the culture of that language. If you separate any language from its culture, it will be again like, there is something called a PDF reader. When it reads, do you enjoy it? Because it lacks the kind of life, isn't it? Similarly, when you don't have the if you don't understand the culture, if you don't learn culture along with the language, it's very difficult to communicate. There is one factor, like there is a particular socio-linguistic factor that affects language learning. Let me explain that. See, our society is a solidarity-oriented society. English languages is coming from a formality-oriented society. Very formal. Interactions are very formal. Whereas our society, you can just stop anyone and ask, when are you getting married? You are already 25, you aren't married. And, find fault with that person for getting married when you are traveling by bus. He will be or she will be a total stranger. You can inquire anything. But if you go to an English-speaking country, if you want to speak to someone, you have to even say, hello, can I ask you something? Do you have a minute for me? Could you please help me? Understand? So when you watch teleseries like this, you will also understand the cultural pragmatics of the language. Why should you know? You avoid making mistakes when you go to another country to work, when you meet a foreigner. When you speak to him, you will immediately remember the cultural pragmatics and you will try to avoid cultural misunderstandings. So therefore it is also important to understand the cultural nuances of the native language. That will help you to become a better communicator. So most of you know how to speak in English, but how effectively you can speak to a foreigner or a person from other parts of the world. Initially when I went to Oman, I used to go to the office in my college and I just say, hello, how are you? I want this, and throw the paper in front of them. And it was a shock for them. See, Oman is a more solidarity oriented society. The moment you go, you have to shake hands, say Assalamu alaikum, and he will ask you, but how are you? How is your family? How is your children doing? You have to ask the same thing to him. Then finally, when the time comes, he asks, what can I do for you? Then you tell your problem. So it is not like the ticket counter experience. You go to the railway station ticket counter, just extend your money and get a ticket. So more, cultural cushioning is needed before you communicate. So initially I had a lot of confrontations that way. They used to think that I am a very rude person. But later I understood. Today I share this with people. Before you visit any country or for your work or travel, try to learn some of the cultural pragmatic practices of those people in communication and things like that. So this divide you should understand. So all the Western countries are formality oriented societies. We are solidarity oriented society. We live together, we exchange everything together. So these differences, if you understand, you will do better. So whenever you learn the language, these kind of teleseries will help you understand the cultural nuances, as well as it will give you content knowledge also. So that will help. Do you watch this? Yes, I know. So these things will help. This is one of the teleserials I enjoy a lot, Dr. House. And this is a very good family drama, set in a village and in a farm, how people live. All these things will help us. So that's the end of my presentation. Maybe we can have 10 minutes for questions or suggestions. And you can appreciate my presentation also. Okay? Yeah, need not ask questions all the time.
Thank you, sir, for such an informative and engaging session. Now, the forum is open for discussion, so the audience can raise your queries now.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful presentation. Really, it's an insightful one. It's not a question, just I would like to have some clarification regarding the teaching. When you talk about teaching, reading and writing, you mentioned that a teacher has to go with making use of the layman language and very simple language. With regard to this, I want to have a clarification. If, see, everybody and every teacher wants a student to enhance and enrich their vocabulary skill, ability. If we go with the words, ordinary words, a layman word, already they know, which is inbuilt in the school days itself, then how would be helpful to enrich their vocabulary? Just would like to...
Okay, that's a very good question. I never expected this. Okay. It's a, kind of contradicting argument, isn't it? Nice. See, that's why there is something called understanding your students first, the level of your students. So it's always, when I go to a class for the first time, I carry a piece of paper with me. I distribute after the class. I ask them why are they in the college, write a paragraph about why they want to study, or any general topic. I get it in writing, and I just go back and read those things. From that I can understand their standard, the kind of vocabulary they use. Depending on that, I plan the kind of words I use in the class, the kind of words or the kind of paragraphs or sentences they are supposed to learn. When it comes to literature, again, it's a different story. So there is a lot of difference between teaching language and literature. When you teach literature, there is something called paraphrasing, isn't it? So sometimes I have come across teachers who are, whose words are much more difficult to understand than the original writer. So what I am trying to say is that there are words which people rarely use. People like Shashi Tharoor can use that, and that is his job. He gets millions by doing that, okay? So, but for ordinary communication, we should be able to have an assessment of students, their vocabulary capabilities, their communicative competence. Then accordingly you have to dilute your language or enhance the vocabulary. That's the only way. So without that you cannot do anything. But my worry here is, are we really assessing our students in the first week of the semester? Are we trying to find out what they know, where exactly they need help? Are they, I mean, whether they need help in enhancing their reading abilities, or their speaking, or their understanding of words, right? And when it comes to research, I showed that paragraph from a PhD research. Again, it is important that people use layman language. What I mean by layman language is a person without the technical knowledge of that particular subject should be able to read and understand what is written there. And a PhD thesis is not an end in itself. It should generate more research, more understanding, and more learning. Therefore, it should be much more communicative. It shouldn't be very didactic. So that is my argument here. So one thing is assessing the students and understanding, accordingly formulate your communication in the class. Yeah. Secondly, whenever you are using a strange word, follow it up with an explanation. Then they will understand. So continuously bombarding them with a difficult language is not going to help the students in learning that language.
So may I ask a question?
Yes.
Thank you for the lucid explanation of the challenges and the opportunities. So you told us a lot about the various cultural differences and all of that, which was really insightful. So if you could just add a little more on the accent that, that as you said, people do not make so much of an issue, but there are so many other cultural differences. So especially because people from Kerala keep wanting to travel, can you tell us a little more on these?
Yeah, this is something related to the pronunciation and accent, isn't it? RP, when I was in college, people were insisting 80s, 90s, they were telling RP, received pronunciation, and the touchstone is British Broadcasting Corporation, isn't it? So the world has changed a lot. Those days we were interacting only with limited people. If at all an Indian is interacting, he will be interacting with a British or American. When they go to other European countries, we were forced to learn their language. Now the world has changed. What is more important than accent? Today, if you talk about accent, if you comment about someone's accent, you are a racist. You can insist on good pronunciation of the language. You can demand that, but you cannot demand British or American accent. It is not necessary. Why? Because the world has become a global village. It's a globalized world, global, local. And you need to do business with people from different parts of the world. People carry different accent. What is important is teaching the students to understand mutually intelligible language. If I am speaking with an African, he should be able to understand what I speak. If an African is speaking to me, he should be able to understand. It is not, to show off your ability to, match the native speaker language abilities, but rather communicating more effectively. So therefore, the idea of RP is no more very relevant, though if you can speak like a British or an American, it's a welcome sign. But there is no need for that today. So therefore, it is important to communicate. Look at me. Do I speak like a British? Though I teach in a foreign university, you'll be surprised, isn't it? I speak very ordinary language, and I don't struggle much to, enhance my accent and show off. Though with difficulty I can do that. But I don't do that. So therefore, it is not at all necessary. So communicate. Even native speakers, they don't encourage that. You have to understand that. If you try to speak like them, they will definitely find that your rhythm and the way you speak will be sounding a little bit strange to them. So therefore, don't do that. So only try to speak the language which is mutually intelligible. That is enough.
Good morning, sir. Sir, you just mentioned that teachers should attend FDPs and they should be trained, especially when they are teaching in college. But I'm a student of MA ELT, I'm final year student, and I have noticed, we are taught how to teach, and I have noticed and we are also informed about the realities of the academic world. Thing is that teachers are not getting time from administrative works, their exam duties, their paper checking works. They are not given time, or they are not having time for attending such training programs. What are your suggestions for that?
See, this is a very complicated issue. There is no one-stop solution. Recently I read one article. I think it was published in The Hindu. Recently means some 3 months back. They were arguing about educational institutions trying to de-link from the accrediting authorities. They said, hell with you, we don't want your accreditation, we don't want your 5-star. Because, my college was the first accredited college, St. Joseph's College. In the 90s, when the NAC was formed, the NAC people came to my college and then asked, please, we want to accredit you, please accept our accreditation. See the scenario, how it has changed today. St. Joseph's College was the first college, St. Joseph's Loyola, these two colleges were the first colleges, NAC accredited colleges. And I don't know whether you know the story, how NAC was formed. NAC was formed by retired vice chancellors and a couple of retired professors. It was a pastime for them. Later it gathered currency and became one of the national institutes, and they control everything. So now institutions are finding ways to de-link from them. And there is a kind of competition that is being built up between institutions and 5-star, and now I think they have come with the conclusion that they will just simply accredit, they will not rank them, isn't it? Yeah, still they do it. It's a business, all business. Now, the teachers have a problem here. The management. There was a time, for example, colleges like St. Joseph's. We spoke a lot. Many of the professors who worked here yesterday, they were from that college. And that college is known as one of the #1 colleges in the country, not because of any accreditation, but the recognition the students got in all walks of life. There was a time 25-30 people will clear IAS from the Department of English. So a college institution get accredited by the performance of the students, not by an external agency. That is my argument. So therefore, the whole situation is a messed up situation. Managements are forced to go for accreditation, one thing. Second thing is also there from the teacher's side. Once they get a permanent job, that's it. I'm not blaming anyone in particular. It is a general statement. in our country, lack of professionalism. If you are a professional, you can manage both. If you aren't a professional person, you can't manage your profession in a professional way, better way, plan everything, then it is difficult to perform. Third issue is that teachers from Indian universities and colleges seldom collaborate with each other. I told you the story of 30 years, isn't it? 33 years. And people hide their research. People don't interact. People don't share these ideas. In my department particularly, what we do is, if I am teaching writing for a particular course, I prepare all the materials. I upload in the common folder, which is accessible to all the teachers in my department who teach that course. Similarly, other teachers also do that. Okay. I have around 100 plus teachers in our department we have, and we teach different courses. Some teach writing, some teach speaking. We all share our materials. Whether we like each other or not, it is important to share the materials. So this way, by collaborating in preparing the materials, sharing the burden of teaching, doing the requirements, teachers can do a better job and they will be less mad. Yeah, so otherwise life will be very difficult, staying 8 to 8 in the campus. They have their children to look after. Their other social requirements are also very important to handle. So therefore, how each department is planning, organizing the business of teaching, learning, and material preparation is also very important. So you can do a good job.
With this, we reach the conclusion of our first session. Thank you, sir, for such a wonderful presentation. It was a really engaging and informative session. Thank you once again for your cooperation and presence, and also for clearing all the queries of our participants. Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
We are moving to the second session of the day, which is on the topic Current Trends in the AI Integrated English Language Education, a drift from conventional to self-paced education. And now, it's the time to invite our resource person. We are very excited to have the opportunity to introduce our speaker, Dr. Shahla Nazim. She is a senior lecturer in Department of General Education at Modern College of Business and Science, Muscat, Sultanate of Oman. She is a luminary with unparalleled expertise in ELT. So let us give her a warm welcome to our resource person, Dr. Shahla Nazim, who will navigate us in this session.
Hello, everybody. Is it audible? Okay. Respected Father, our chief guest, Dr. Justin Thomas, research scholars, and my fellow teachers and students, good afternoon to everybody. First of all, I want to acknowledge this conference organizing committee members for giving me a wonderful chance to showcase my experience and my research in front of you, and I hope you will benefit from my talk today. So if you see the topic, you can see that if you just remove AI, you can see the statement, a drift from conventional to self-paced education. So what do you mean by conventional education? When we say conventional kind of education, what do you mean by that? Yes, back in our time, we were actually taught, we were asked to teach our students, right? We were asked to teach the concepts and, the basic concepts of English language. But now the scenario has changed. We know that now there is no need for teachers to teach the students. Now I know that most of you are aspiring to go abroad and get a good opportunity in this ELT field. So if you go abroad, you can't see, the first main thing that they ask us is to promote autonomous learning among students. You know what we mean by autonomous learning, right? That is what we say, self-paced education. That means independent learning. So over there in abroad, they won't ask us to teach. They ask us to, bring out that kind of skills, independent learning skills among our students. So it's a big challenge for our teachers to bring out new ways of promoting independent learning among our students. So that's why we were compelled to integrate research into our teaching. That is the highlight of, one of the requirements in abroad teaching, where they ask us to integrate research into our teaching process. Why do you think we need to integrate research into our teaching process? When we talk about research, we always think about PhD. Apart from that, we need to promote action research. We need to promote action research, small kind of research into our teaching process. Why do you think we need that kind of research? Because we need to come out from this conventional types of teaching process, isn't it? We need to find out new ways of teaching, which actually promote independent learning among our students. So back in times, we were asked to explain the rules of different concepts, right, in English. But English is not a subject to learn in that way. It is a kind of subject that should be learned by our students themselves. So we teachers are just facilitators to promote these kind of autonomous learning or self-dependent learning among our students. That is the first quality that they the abroad people look for. They don't want anything, they know that we are qualified, but apart from that, they want to know what kind of skill as a teacher do we have to promote these types of learning among our students. So in that perspective, I can say that technology has helped us a lot. Technology in different ways has helped us a lot to integrate different kind of strategies that promote this kind of self-paced learning among our students. For example, my first baby step to do research was based on computer-assisted language learning. You know that, CALL, isn't it? It's not a new concept, computer-assisted language learning, where I asked my students to produce a digital story. Oh, just a minute. Yes, you can see here. This is the first project made by my students.
Today I will show you
It's a small project.
The name of story is Cinderella. The group of story is Abdurrahman, Amira, Lamia, Shayna, and Afara.
Once there was a girl named
Okay, which all speaking, right? Okay. Yeah. Me, as I'm working there over 10 years in Oman, the main skill that they normally lack is reading. They don't like to read. As Dr. Justin said, like, we don't like to read. Normally students don't like to read. So this was given them as a project where they were compelled to read a story and they have to paraphrase it to make it in a comprehensive way, and then they have to voice over with their own voice. I mean, they have to put their own voice. So when they try to recite the story, actually what happens, they improve their pronunciation, isn't it? And they also will get a skill to speak fluently. So that is the main intention as a tutor. So the output is just a digital story, but behind it you can see that students are improving certain language skills which are essential for them to get the language, isn't it? So now if we go back to this, to our presentation, you can see over here, now it's a world of AI, isn't it? Now this kind of digital story is outdated. Now it's a world of AI, and I don't think there is a need for me to talk about AI, isn't it? All of you know what AI is. So in a nutshell, I will just explain, I will just go through these main areas, and where you will get to know what AI is and different AI tools used in English language teaching, and how to use these tools, and how AI can be used for independent learning. That is the main target. So what is AI? There is no need for me to explain what AI is. AI is not a new topic. It's neither a new topic nor an unwanted aspect, isn't it? It's an essential element in all other fields like business, technology, science, and at the same time, AI is also influenced in education field, isn't it? Now in education, we exploit AI to the extent that it makes easy for both teachers and students in the learning process, right? So what are the main roles of AI in education context? So automation of task. Automation of task means, I know all of us have used ChatGPT, isn't it? We just need to put the prompt, everything is done by ChatGPT. So there is less time for us to think about a particular process. And grading, it can be used for grading process, it can be used for personalization, for personal use, to get feedback, for independent learning, and for supporting, for getting support outside the classroom. So let's see the role of AI. And why do you think AI is essential in language classrooms? What is the need of AI in language classrooms? Now, I said now AI is highly influenced in education context. So why do you think that AI is important in language classrooms? What is the need? What is the importance of language, English language? What is the importance of English language? Why do we need to learn this particular language, English language? We learn English language just because it's an international language where it is highly required in job market, right? The first element, no matter whether we are English tutors or not, whatever job you aspire, the first element that they assess is whether you are capable to communicate. That is the first thing. You may be very good at your, in your field. For example, an engineer or a doctor. She or he may be very good in his or her field, but if that particular individual is lacking this communication skills, then what is the need of having these kind of qualifications? Because we aspire to go abroad and get a good settlement over there, and if you are not good at communication skills, they won't hire you. So the first and the foremost element that we need is communication skills, both speaking. Yeah, speaking is the foremost thing, because we need to express our ideas and we need to convey our things properly. So speaking is the foremost thing. So English is required not only for English graduates. I think for whole students, English is an important language for job markets and for other aspects. So we know that students, second language learners, they face a lot of difficulty in learning this language in terms of speaking, writing, and also if you say that the main mistake that we always see among second language learners is spelling mistake. As Indian students, we may not have that kind of drastic spelling mistakes, but among Arab speakers, the spelling mistakes is drastic. So that is one of the basic mistakes that we rectify all these mistakes and also to enhance our learning process. Now, here I can see there are tutors and students, right? Now, for both teachers and students, we have different pain points. What do you mean by pain points? Pain points in terms of teaching, we teachers, we do struggle a lot in the teaching process, and the students also, they also have different pain points in terms of learning this language, right? Now, today I'm just showing you the way of using AI according to your pain points. Now, as a tutor, I do have many pain points. I mean, we are bombarded with a lot of activities. It's not just teaching. We have to do research, we have to do publications, conference, a lot of things. So we do get less time for planning and preparing our materials. So that is my pain points. Some tutors, they find difficulty in assessing, in making assessments, in grading these assessments. So each one of us, we do have different pain points according to our scenario, according to our working circumstances, and the students also, they do have their own pain points. So first of all, as I said, we have lots of AI tools. So let me ask you, other than ChatGPT, are you familiar with any other AI tool? Gemini, okay. Then any other tools? Okay. So we know that we have plenty of tools, right? If you just, type, you can see a lot of AI tools, but we are somehow confused how to use it, whether it is user-friendly or how to use it and how to produce things from it. So first of all, what I advise is you need to know your pain points. What is your actual need of using an AI tool? Now, ChatGPT is a kind of general thing. It may not produce the specific, the specific content that we actually want. So we need to rely other AI tools. So what the thing is that, unfortunately, all these AI tools are not free. We need to subscribe them. So they may give us 2 or 3 chances to use it and get to know how to utilize that tool. So what I suggest is, once you know your pain points and once you find a particular tool that will exactly help you to exactly help your teaching process smoothly, then why can't we subscribe and use that AI tool? Because it's not that costly. Most of the AI tools are not that costly. So here I have listed some AI tools which I normally use in my teaching process, starting from from different kinds of facilities that they provide. For example, you can see these are the these are the purposes, like how to make a text to picture, then how to prepare. There are tools which help us to prepare materials. There are tools which convert speech to text and text to speech, and video creation tools and assessment tools. So I'm not going to show I'm not going to show all the tools. I'm just going to, show you each one of them so that you get familiarized with it. So the first one is text to image. So when you go to text to image tool, it's LimeWire. Can you see this LimeWire? This is LimeWire tool which will actually help you to produce image from the text. Sometimes in ELT we do have reading comprehensive passages, right? So sometimes we may not find pictures for those reading passages. So and we know that we were always asked to produce pictures with the reading passage, so the students will find it difficult, find it easy to relate it. So what we just need to do is that we just need to give the prompt, and the picture is produced over here. Once it is formulated, you can just download it. So this is one tool which will help us to produce image from the text. You just need to type the prompt over here. Whatever image you need, you just need to type here, and then it is produced over here. And the next one is the next one is Twee. Twee is actually very important tool, very user-friendly tool, which actually helps you to prepare materials. Prepare materials for both teaching and for assessment process. You can see, as an English tutor, you can see all the required skills which are needed in English language classrooms: reading, vocabulary, writing, speaking, grammar. And if you click under each skill, you can see you can create a text, you can create questions, and create a test. And also you can you can select the language which is required. If you want American English, you can choose that, or if you want British English, you can choose that. And then you just need to paste a topic, and you just need to choose the level, whether it is starting from A1 to C2 according to the student's level. You just need to choose that, and then the range, how much you need, the length of the reading text, and then you can see, for example, so this is really a helpful tool, user-friendly tool. You can't see this. Okay. Can you see this page? Yeah. So this is the one that I mentioned. I think you didn't see the previous slide. Why it's not moving? ഈ സ്ലൈഡ്
ഏത് സ്ലൈഡാ? ഇതാണോ? ഇത്
സ്റ്റക്കായിട്ട് നിൽക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ?
ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടെടുത്തോ. സൈറ്റിനെ ഡയറക്റ്റ് എടുക്കുന്നത്
ഇതോടുന്ന് ഇപ്പോൾ വന്നാണ്. സ്ലൈഡ് എടുക്കട്ടെ. Okay. എവിടെ? ഇതാണോ? ഇത് ക്ലോസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ മാത്രമേ ഇത് കിട്ടുന്നുള്ളൂ. സ്ലൈഡ് ഷോയിൽ വെക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഇതിലേക്ക് പോകണം. കണ്ട, ഇവിടുന്ന് ചേഞ്ച് ആകുമ്പോഴാണ് മാറാത്തത്. ആ ഒരു ലിങ്കിലേക്ക് പോവാനേ.
ചേഞ്ച് ആണല്ലോ.
ഈ ലിങ്കിലേക്കാണ്. ഈ സ്ലൈഡ് മാറണതല്ല, എനിക്ക് ഈ ലിങ്കിലേക്ക് പോകാനാണ്.
ലിങ്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ അങ്ങനെ ചിലപ്പോൾ ഇതാവട്ടോ. അങ്ങനെ പോയില്ലേ, അത് വേണമെങ്കിൽ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യേണ്ടി വരും. സ്ലൈഡ് നമുക്ക് ചേഞ്ച് ചെയ്ത് പോകും. മറ്റേ സെപ്പറേറ്റ് ഓപ്പൺ ചെയ്യാം.
വേണ്ട വേണ്ട. Okay, sorry for the halt. So yes, this AI tool Twi, actually I need to move from here and go to the അപ്പോൾ എനിക്ക് ആ ഇത് സൈറ്റിലേക്ക് പോകാൻ പറ്റില്ല അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ. മിനിമൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ടും പോണില്ല. മിനിമൈസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് തന്നെ ഞാൻ ചെയ്യണത്. സമയമല്ലല്ലോ, ഞാൻ ഇതന്നെ പറഞ്ഞു കൊടുക്കണ്ട. ഓക്കെ, അതിൽ ഞാൻ വേണമെങ്കിൽ കാണിച്ചു കൊടുക്കാം. ഇതിൽ ഞാൻ സ്ലൈഡ് Okay. Sorry, I can't show you the website due to the technical problem. That is one of the challenges using technology. We have to accept it. So, yeah, this AI tool, TWE, this is user-friendly tool which can be used for both preparing materials and also for assessment process. Now, for all skills, starting from listening, speaking, reading, and writing, and also for vocabulary, this is really a wonderful tool. And me and my colleagues over there in our college, we use this particular tool to prepare materials, because sometimes you know that in ELT, when we provide reading passages, students struggle to get the concept and to get the meaning. So what we do is that we have to grade. We have to grade the reading passages according to the student's level, right? So here, when we use this TWE, we get an opportunity to select the proficiency level of our students. So according to the proficiency level, they provide the reading passages, and also we no need. I will just show my slide. So you can just note down these tools, and later on you can just try by yourself. I thought of showing you how to produce materials from this website, but due to this technical problem I can't. So I'm just showing you the major tools that we use in our college. So here, yes, this is actually we can use upon our subscription. We have to subscribe this tool, but it's not that costly. And you can see how our lives become much better when you use this tool, because mostly we spend our time to find out materials, and even though when we find out those materials, we struggle a lot to grade it according to our students' level. So this particular tool, when we use, we just need to put the title based on what we need to produce. All this for all the skills, reading, writing, speaking, for everything. You just need to put the prompt, you just need to put the title. Automatically it will be produced according to the student's level, according to the student's grade. And based on that, you can also create assessments, true or false, optional, multiple type questions, writing questions. Different kind of assessments can also be done with this AI tool. So it's a kind of multiple usage, where you can, at the same time you can prepare materials, and at the same time you can also prepare assessments based on those materials. The next one is Speakter. Speakter is actually, sometimes for listening classes. For listening classes, you may not get the actual podcast that we need. We normally, in our colleges, we use podcast. UK British Council podcast for listening purposes. So sometimes we don't get the actual content that we need. So but we may get text. We want that text to be converted into a listening practice. So what can we do? It's not practical to to record our voice, because we need a fluent, not a fluent one, but a native speaker language. So what we can do is that you just need to insert. It can be a YouTube video, or it can be a PDF file. You just need to insert the PDF file. You can see how the PDF file is converted into an audio. Got the sale? And that audio, you can use it for the listening purposes. Got my point? So sometimes we may get a reading passage, and if you want to convert that reading passage into an audio, this is the the prominent tool which can convert the text to speech for the listening classes. Now, AI video tool. Now, as I said, this AI video tool is really beneficial because we are using it for independent learning. I will show you how we use in our classrooms. I have created one just for today's purposes. Now, this AI video tool, now as I said, now the teacher is just a facilitator, and the prime role of a teacher is to promote independent learning and to find out different strategies to develop this independent learning. And this is one kind of strategy where you can enhance independent learning among your students. How? Using this website, you can create an AI tutor. Can you see an AI tutor over there? An avatar. Okay, you just need to choose that avatar, and you just need to insert the concept that you want to teach your students. So there is no need for you to literally stand in front of your students and teach them. Got my point? You just make this video and send them. You just create a website of your own, and using that website, you just insert these videos produced by this AI avatars. But over there also, a teacher is required. Human intervention is required over there, because it's you who should decide what to teach your students. But you're not teaching, the AI tutor is teaching your students. Got it? You can choose female or male figures. There are a lot of avatars available on that website. You just need to choose them. And you can also choose the language to be conveyed. You can choose Malayalam also is there. English is there. English in different accent is available. If you want UK English, if you want Indian English, that is also available. Indian English, UK English, Irish, you just need to opt the language that you want to convey. And then the material to be delivered, it's on your hands. You have to type, and there is no need for you to type there. Also, you can use ChatGPT. You just need to get the help of ChatGPT. You just copy and paste over there. But you are the one to regulate everything. What to teach, how to teach. How to teach is being done, but what to teach is in your hands. And then you create these, these slides using this AI avatars, and then that will be converted into a small video. And you send this video to your students. They can watch according to their pace, and they can understand what the concept is. And then the next thing is discussion part. There also, there is no need for you to get involved into this discussion part. You can use AI chatbot. Got my point? Using with AI chatbot, you can do the discussion part, and the assessment is also done by AI tool, which I'm going to show you different assessment tools. And altogether, that particular course can be done with AI without your intervention is required, but there is no need for you to be present in front of your students. Got it? Your presence is not required. You are behind the screen doing everything with the help of AI. So that is one way of, and we are trying it in our college. This is our first step where we are trying whether a course can be completed without the presence of a tutor. Got my point? A particular course can be done without the presence of a tutor by just sending these videos to our students. Discussion is done by AI chatbot, assessment is done by AI, and the feedback is also given by AI. Got it? So that's what, but even then, teachers are required to give the messages, because we are the one to insert the text messages so that the avatar can deliver it. Got it? Now, as I said, assessment. How can we use AI tool for grading assessment process? So this is one tool. This is called Essay Grader. Now, we know that we teach a lot of essays to our students, different types of essays. And for me, my pain point is assessing these essays. It's very, hectic and exhausting work to assess these essays. So what we do is that you can see over here, you can see the options given over here, right? Elementary, middle school, high school, college. So it depends upon your teaching level. If you're teaching college students, you just need to select college. And what kind of essay? We do teach these all essays, right? So you just need to select the type of essay that you want to grade. And then if you have a rubric of your own, you can insert, you can upload that rubric, or here in this website itself they have a rubric of their own. They can use their own rubric, or if you want to use a customized rubric, you can use that. And then you just put the student's name and then apply. You can see how well they grade it according to the criteria. And this is one another tool, AI. Now this one we use it in our university because we have got plenty of essays to grade. So this is according to our rubric, we insert our rubric, and according to that rubric, this AI tool assesses the essays, and we get the feedback. We get the feedback from this tool. And this one is just for the familiarity. You can use this AI quiz creator also. You just need to type the topic over here and make a quiz. And this is another quiz gecko. This is also used for creating assessments, and you just need to send the link to the students. Once it is completed, you will get the feedback. If you just open the link, you can see how well your students have done that particular assessment. Now, as I said, AI tool for independent learning. This one I just prepared yesterday for this conference purpose.
Good morning, how are you all? Welcome to the tutorial class on Romantic Period. Historical context. Timeline, late 18th century to mid-19th century, approximately 1780 to 1850. Major historical events: American Revolution, French Revolution, Industrial Revolution. Reaction against the Enlightenment and its emphasis on reason and science. Defining Romanticism. Emphasis on emotion, individualism, and nature. Valorization of the imagination and the sublime. Exploration of the self and the human condition. The main authors of Romantic Period are.
So this is a small literature class on Romanticism. So this is just an example. This is not the actual thing that we are doing right now. Just for today's purpose, I have prepared a small video using this tool, AI tool. So you have lots of options. You can insert videos, pictures based on the concept that you want to teach. And it's so easy. You just need to put a little effort to insert the topic and the concept, and everything is done by AI. And this is one way of promoting independent learning among our students. And the other one is Ego. Actually, I wanted to show you, this is actually a useful website for both teachers and students. For students especially, you can just visit this website and try. You will come to know your proficiency level from this website. You can try each skill, listening, speaking, reading and writing, and try by yourself, and you will get to know your proficiency level. They will give you the feedback how well you are doing in all these skills. And as a teacher, you can also give them remedial classes. You can assign these materials for remedial classes. So for both teachers and students, this particular website is so useful. And which actually promote independent learning among our students. So that's it.
Good morning.
Sorry. That's it about AI tools in English language classrooms. Actually, I wanted to show you the application level of all these tools, but unfortunately, because of this technical problem, I couldn't. But I think, I hope you got somewhat idea about these tools and how these tools can be used in English classrooms. Especially these video making tool, just try to apply it with your students so that less effort from your part, and you can make a major revolution among this in this education context. Any questions?
For such a wonderful session. So now the forum is open for discussion. If you have any queries, you may raise them now.
Ma'am, you said that there is an experiment being done at your institute of that whether AI tool can complete a course or not.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, or it can be done like this with AI tool, but there are students of different learning styles in a single classroom. So how can an AI tool can do justice with that? I mean, there are students with different learning styles and different affectional attitudes. If there is a human teaching them, he or she will design a material according to learning styles of the students of his class. But how can AI do that?
No, actually the video that I showed you is, it's limited. It's limited with pictures and videos. That's what I said. In that website, we have got a lot of options to insert. So we know that there are different types of learners, visual learners, where they need to see images to relate the concept, right? So we can insert images, we can insert videos, we can also insert some audio images. So audio visual learners will be satisfied with it. And apart from that, the main thing is that they have got their own pace. Now in classrooms, we just teach and we leave the class. We don't know how far they have understood the concept. But if you send an AI tutoring video, they can watch it several times and get the concept. That is one thing. And beyond that, and I said it is not stopped over there. Once it is done, then they get discussion, chatbot discussion, where AI tutor is ready to clear all their doubts. There also human intervention is required. We need to regulate that.
Ma'am, can we have AI apps to make them practice speaking?
Well, yeah, definitely. That's what I said. Just note down that tool, Echo tool. It is really helpful for all these language skills, specifically speaking. Now, what in that website, I wanted to show you that website, but let me show you. Can I just exit from it and show them? Yeah. Let me just exit from here. Yeah, this is the tool Ego. Yeah, can you see this? Here, if you go to the website, yes. Yeah, this is the website, and yes, you can see here these are the topics which are provided for free, and if you want to further proceed, you need to subscribe. So let me just take one. This is one topic, and here based on this topic you can see the level. This is for beginners. You can see listening, reading, speaking and writing. And if you choose the speaking, you have to record your speaking over here, and the AI tool will assess your speaking and will give you the feedback how well you speak based on your fluency and proficiency. Got it?
Ma'am, when we talk about a normal classroom, students make noise and they have various emotions going on through the classroom.
Yeah.
But when we talk about AI, then how it will help to know students' emotions? Like AI is doing their work, they are teaching, but how we can judge students? Are they listening or not, or are they talking with each other or
that will be reflected in their assessment.
Yeah, ma'am, that can be reflected in the assessment, but
Yeah.
at that moment we can, if we are in the normal classroom, we can stop them talking, or we can ask them to focus.
No. Don't ever think that this is done in classrooms. This is done outside the classrooms. You know flipped learning? A kind of flipped learning process. You just send the videos. Either you can create your own website, your own teaching website, and put all these students in different classrooms and send the link of this video. They watch and they come back to the classrooms. Only discussion should be done at the classroom, nothing to teach over there. There you will analyze whether they have understood the topic or not.
Thank you, ma'am.
Any more questions?
One thing is there, AI cannot replace tutors because tutors are the ones to regulate the whole process, but we can make our teaching process so easy with AI tools. And the students also get, the thing is that immediate feedback is possible with AI. Now look at over here, they get their feedback immediately, they will come to know their proficiency immediately, but as a tutor it will take time for us to give them the feedback, and accuracy will be there in terms of feedback.
We can conclude the discussion.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an informative and engaging session. As Shahla ma'am said, English is an important language in today's job market, and we need innovative ways to teach it like AI. She has helped us to explore how artificial intelligence, AI, can help us for creating more strategies to learn English in an easy way. And again, AI chatbots can help us to personalize our language learning. Once again, I express my deepest gratitude to our resource person for sharing her valuable expertise.
Registered participants could partake in the lunch. You should move to the Palokaran Square and our candidates would receive you there. The rest of the candidates could have their lunch in the canteen. The third session would start at 1:45, so we request you to be back by then. I repeat, for the attention of the audience, registered participants could partake in the lunch. You should move to the Palokaran Square and our candidates would receive you there. The rest of the candidates could have their lunch in the canteen. The third session would start